Oh my God. Wow. So nice. Oh, thank you. Thanks for being here. I was conceived through artificial insemination, which is crazy because I still have daddy issues. Science is really good. I don't know if the doctor shouted, but I keep loving older men and hoping to change them fundamentally as human beings. I do. I'll say this about older men. They're not all rich. Some of them just want love, and it's fucked up. But my first boyfriend, he was quite a bit older, and I feel like you date different people for different reasons. I think with him, it was just sort of like, you know how sometimes you'll adopt an older cat because you're not sure if you're gonna move? I think that's how, I was like, yeah, I want a boyfriend, but I might go to grad school, so, I don't know. I am dating someone now. It's going good. He keeps texting me the temperature, so I think he likes me. I have two moms, and they're gay. One of them is gay, and the other one is just super easygoing. But I think there's a lot of ideas about lesbians. Like, I'm from the Bay Area, and even there, I think there's this idea that, like, all lesbians are the same. They're like lesbitarians, I think it's called. I think there's this idea that all lesbians love anything that's like feminine or like birth canal-y, whatever is just kind of meaty but also a flower. They're like, yeah, love it. But like when I got my period, I thought my mom was gonna be like, you must go and tell the trees. It will help them remember their song. But my mom was just like, oh, then maybe don't sit on the nice couch. I'll get you a folding chair. Because my mom is a bougie lesbian who can afford sperm. She can afford, it's expensive. It was $1,000 a load in 1995. Just the load, like not even the foreplay. Just the worst part is $1,000. That's so overpriced if you look at supply and demand for sperm. That means my trash can is worth like $5,000. And it's just going to my roommate's dog. It's just really expensive dog food. I don't know. That's so... my mom bought 13 loads to have me. And we don't even get along. Like... That's so great. You can't return the 13 loads, like, and be like, yeah, it's annoying and bulimic now. You can't. You just gotta take it. So she said 13,000. I got an abortion, which is when you have two moms and you get an abortion, it kind of does feel like bragging, a little, you know, because it's like I didn't have to buy that. I didn't have to pay. I didn't even want that. You know, the sperm just came with dinner, and I wanted to be polite, but. So you can't call your gay mom and be like, I had a really hard day. It was really bad, actually. It was a really bad day. It was your biggest dream. And I'm gonna throw it out. You can't ask your mom to comfort you. I don't know. I didn't want to. And mostly because my mom is like cool. She would have been cool with it. But I was like on her insurance. She kind of paid for it. And I think it just like would have been my birthday present that year. And I kind of wanted, she's like, that's a pretty big gift. So that's Christmas and birthday this year, but she is cool. My grandma's mean, which that's why my mom is gay. Kind of explains it. No, my grandma is, she's mean. She's, but she's also like my hero. I don't know. My grandma's like, she's cool. She's 92, and she's still anorexic. which is kind of amazing. Like the hope that my grandma still thinks she can like be hot. Like hot, right? Like my grandma thinks my grandfather is with her for her body tonight. That's how she feels. I know, because she told me. We've like she's like, if I get fat, Papa will leave. I was like, Papa's 94 and he cannot walk upstairs. You've got him. He's trapped. She's like, no, it's actually my thigh gap that he loves. So I keep that for him, which is not, I don't know. I know my grandparents are still having sex because their hot tub keeps breaking. Like every Saturday. That's why California's in a drought. It's because my grandma won't die. I don't know. My grandma's very into weight, and I don't judge her anymore. I tried it. I was bulimic for a while. I'm not as good as her. I was bulimic because you have to try all the routes to happiness. And I kind of think if you're sad and you haven't tried bulimia, stop complaining. I don't know. She's still driving, which makes her a threat to the public. She should not. She kills a lot of cats when in Los Altos, but it's to the point where like if she was a dog, we'd shoot her. But it's Mima, and we like love her, so we keep just like putting her in her car and being like, yeah, go, go, go. It's cute. I don't know. And if you talk to her about it, she's like, that's just what happens when you drive a BMW. It's because the car's red. She thinks it's like the German design to like hit stuff. So it's good. I hope she dies. No, I don't. Just for the money. But my grandma actually fell down her stairs, which made me like her more. When a mean grandma falls down the stairs, it's kind of like when a like nerdy girl takes off her glasses. It's a little bit like, ooh, I think I like it. But obviously, I want her to be okay. She keeps bragging because she didn't get CTE, so she's like, I think I'm actually stronger than every football player. We want her to get one of those like electric chair lifts that'll like carry her up and down for old people, but she's like, they're too slow. It's faster when I fall, so I'm gonna keep doing that. And so that's just how she gets around her house. Her house is all stairs. There's no floor. And she likes it. So I'm going to keep it. So yeah, my mom's intense too. My parents they're separated because they got to know each other, which you should never do. I don't know why they talked. But they're separated. They're remarried. So I have two stepmoms and 2 moms. So I have 4 moms. And they all hate each other also. So I'm working on 8 moms. And I think that's gonna be good. I think that's what I need is just 4 more hard opinions on my weight. And then I'll know if I'm pretty, if I'm not pretty. I just need a council to let me know. So just a Supreme Court. Am I thin? We don't know. So can't wait. We're gonna have 8 moms, and I do love them all. My first stepmom actually left her family for ours, which is pretty cool. Because, yeah, I got her. Sometimes you just need to win. And I don't know like how well I'm doing, but it's for sure better than Kaylee and Julie. They missed their mom. I don't know why. She's just saging the bad energy. That's what stepmoms do. They make bad energy and then they sage it. And then it's it just goes forever. She's busy. It's good. It's not fair. That's not fair. It's not. She left her family. She was homeless for a while, and then she moved in with us. So now she's a life coach. So if you want to learn how to seduce my mom, She does need her first client. She has had a lot of trouble getting them. No one knows what she does. I think she works at a gift shop, but my grandma thinks she's a mailman. We don't know. No one talks to her, but she's not my favorite mom. My favorite mom, for sure, my butch mom. My butch mom is the worst at it. My butch mom doesn't understand how she ended up with kids. I've never met a lesbian that doesn't understand how they had kids. But my butch mom is like, I don't know, you guys just showed up. I'm like, you bought 13 loads of sperm. And Tony was like, I wasn't really paying attention. So I just have this drunk butch mom who, when they broke up, my hot mom remarried right away. My butch mom was sort of like, fuck. Like, my mom was like, I did not know I'd ever have to be attractive to anybody again. So my mom was like, I'm just going to be a mom, I think. I think I'm just going to, no hobbies, no job, just mom. That just means drinking problem. That's all that means. But say what you will about alcoholics, they're home after school. It's their favorite place to be. Like, you can't leave if you can't drive. So I got very close. I love Tony. Tony's my favorite mom. We're drinking buddies. I didn't even know my mom hoarded. I was like, this is great. I thought it was like butch interior design. I was like, yeah, my mom's just super gay. So we hung out. More affectionate mom. Says I love you way more. Only like really late at night, but still. I was like... Said I love you like after 11. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stay up for that, I think. We'll be late for school. So no, my butch mom did remarry when I was like 16. Remarried a lady who likes men, and then started using she and he pronouns, both pretty interchangeably, and never came out to me as anything other than butch, which I think is the manliest way to come out. Is to just like not say anything. And then just get like really mad on the freeway. just like, no, I'm good. I'm good. That's Tony. Being not good. But no, it's cool. And then there's like women who have a group chat about your gender. Yeah, is a man. But I did ask. I was like, do you want me to call you dad? I call a lot of people dad. It is not a big deal. Like, you don't even have to buy me a drink. I just like it. My stance on dad is that, like, if you're a little into it, I'm, like, a lot into it. But my mom was like, I don't want you to call me dad. I think that's creepy. Which I think is, feels nice and I like it. But I don't have a dad. I have a stone butch mom. I have a stone butch boomer mom. Like, my mom has no idea that she's, like, doesn't know how she has kids or how she's alive. That's my mom. My mom goes to the doctor and prays that she has dementia. Every time my mom doesn't have dementia, she's like, fuck. That's Tony. And, which is cool. I have a stone butch mom, she and he. For a while, I wanted a trans dad because this whole time I thought I had like kind of a shitty mom, but maybe I have like a normal father. And I don't need therapy anymore. And I've been complaining about nothing for 15 minutes, but I don't know. I could stop doing anal. That would be good. Probably for the world. I'm Jewish. I have IBS. It's not for me. But I just keep appropriating Catholic culture. Yeah. No, I do have a cool mom. My mom had a stroke. Loved it. Thought it was great. My mom was like, I've never been more relaxed. And I used to think people couldn't change. And then my mom had a stroke. And I was like, oh, you for sure used to talk faster. So maybe you can fix people. And Tony's wife is really cool. My stepmom, that's my hot stepmom. I don't know why I feel that way. Probably because she told me she doesn't have any hair on her body. But that's Tony's wife. And she's very loyal. She's like, I love Tony, just reminds us all to slow down. I'm like, that's the lesson that you got? Just go slower. Okay. But they did open their relationship shortly after the stroke, so it's fine. I went home for Thanksgiving, and my stepmom was like, I want you to know we were on a turkey trot. She took me on a trot. So let me know. I guess that's the new tradition. So we went on the turkey trot. She's like, I'm fucking a lot. And I was like, that's cool. And she was like, do you have any questions? And I was like, I think I have maybe the opposite of a question. I think I have, actually, maybe if you could actually just suck some of the knowledge I have out of my head so I know less. That would be great. She was like, you probably want to know all about my sex life, and I don't want to be rude, so I'm like, you're right. Really curious. And I thought about it. We had 5K to go, so we were trotting, and I was thinking, and I'm an adult. She's an adult. Like, I met her when I was 16, so she's not like a mom. And if I was married to some kid's dad, and that dad wasn't fucking me anymore, I would tell the kid. I would tell everyone that I would call friends I don't like, and I would tell, the kid is finding out. The kid is getting copied on the emails. Just in case, just put in a good word, give me something. Because that's what stepmoms are. Stepmoms are moms that don't love you, and they're horny. So she's kind of crushing it. She's doing great. She's not the life coach. She should be the life coach, but my mom is different. I went home with Hickies, and my hot stepmom was like, woohoo! She was really into it. She's like, matching. But my real mom was worried. My real mom hates Hickeys. She was like, that's bad. Tony didn't notice, but my birth mom, Tony was like, did you always have that ugly birthmark? But my real mom was like, she hates Hickeys. She's like, that's bad. That means he owns you. I was like, really taking his side right off the bat. But I think owning me I don't even think he's gonna call me back. I feel like if you own something, you wonder where it is sometimes, but my mom was like, no, that's really bad. He owns you. And I think she has in her head a much more aggressive encounter. I think in her mind, it's much more violent. I think what actually happened is I was just having sex with someone who was pretty fat, and it was the most dominant thing he had the energy to do. I think this guy was just kind of out of breath and hungry. But I don't know. My mom worries. And it's good. I do have 4 moms. I do have an eating disorder. It's not their fault. I will say it's hard to have 4 moms and feel like you're eating the right way. Yeah. It's a lot of notes. I do have I was bulimic for 6 years. I don't know if you know what that is. It's usually when you eat a bunch of ice cream and then you try to throw up a dad. But it doesn't work. I'm obviously very bad at it. I talk about it all the time, which is the number one rule of bulimia is don't talk about bulimia. That is, if you're trying to do it, just shh. I tell everyone I'm a server. I'll tell the tables. So they don't ask me for recommendations. What should I eat? I'm I think you should throw up the steak. That's what I would do. I had this thing. I threw up a birthday cake, and I was like, maybe I should talk to someone, because I was I really needed those wishes. You can't have 6 roommates and waste a birthday wish, but so I went to this eating disorder clinic, and but the thing is, it's all weight-based. The treatment is all weight-based, and it's usually about other stuff. I'm very worried about being a good person, and I think I connect virtue and weight. I got that. And I get it culturally. I think it was Gandhi who said, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. No, he was great. He's one of my heroes. Gandhi, because he's my goal weight. But I went to this clinic. I didn't realize they'd let hot people do the intake. I thought she looked just like Gandhi, and And it was all, they weigh you and stuff, and she was like, what did you eat today? And I was like, I ate whatever you ate, but less. And she was like, you're a pretty healthy weight. She didn't think I had an eating disorder. But she said if I lost 30 pounds and came back, then maybe we could hang out sometime. So I get it. I don't know. My grandma's very into weight. I mentioned. This is something my grandma told me when I was little. She said, skinny men are good. She said skinny people are good and skinny men can't rape. Which sounds like an ad for spinach from the 50s. When it was sort of like you're either going to not get raped or you're going to get spanked. Those are the two kind of types of ads for home goods. But that was what she told me. And and it's hard to argue with her because she's, can't hear and stuff. And she's 92 and she's never been raped. And she brags about that. That's something she'll tell you. That's her story at parties. And then she'll point at my grandpa and say, see how thin he is? And it's a nice story, I guess, but it's also like a great way to ruin the party for like at least a couple people there. But my grandma's really proud. She likes to brag about it. She's very, I don't know if you remember in 2017, there's the Me Too movement. Everyone was raped. And that year at Hanukkah or whatever, I saw her. She was she took that moment to be like, wow, these stories are really, they're really making me think. I did really good. And she just did she crushed a can. She thought she won Me Too. And she did. My grandmother won Me Too. So pretty proud. I told my Jewish mom I was bulimic, and I thought she'd be cool with it because she's gay or whatever. She's like, I also do gross stuff with my mouth. But she wasn't cool. She's very worried. She's worried and upset. She was like, please tell me you did not throw up my challah. Because my mom thinks bulimia is when you don't like her food. She thinks it's when you don't appreciate her. It was just a list of foods she's cooked, and if I threw any of them up. Which is, she thinks it's selfish, very selfish, because you're wasting her food or whatever. She's like, it's the most selfish thing anyone can do. And I was like, I thought that was what people said about suicide. I didn't know that was bulimia also. I didn't know you could also be, and she's like, no, if you killed yourself after you ate my food, that's worse, because you're taking my time with you, If I kill myself after I eat her brisket, she's like, then I have to have 2 tombstones, just one for my daughter and then one for my beloved brisket that was good. In parentheses, it wasn't because of the brisket. And then just how long she spent on the brisket. And then you have to turn, and then it says there's more on the back of the tombstone. It's just other stuff she did that should have made me happy. But anyway, no, I'm a piece of shit. Yeah. It's weird when you tell people you're bulimic. I was hooking up with this guy, and I was like, maybe I'll tell him I'm bulimic and he'll love me. And I told this guy I was bulimic. He's like, I don't even know what that is. And I was like, it's when you eat a bunch of food and you throw up, so it's you never ate anything. And he was like, that's genius. So I am pretty smart. I did, but that's such a, I told Tony I was bulimic years later, just I was like, maybe we should get to know each other at some point. And my butch mom was just like, yeah, I thought you looked great. I thought, it's working. Don't stop. Was just super supportive of it. I thought that was makeup. But I did get a text from my mom that was like, I've been thinking about it. I also have an eating disorder. It's eating disorder and that order. This is just days later. That's days of thinking, planning, prepping. And then I didn't answer right away, so I got another text that was just like, har, 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 was joke. Like, are you sure you're not my dad? Are you sure? Like, I think you came out. I think that was, because it kind of felt like I said I'm bulimic, and my mom was like, hi, bulimic, I'm dad. That's my favorite mom and will always be my favorite mom. I started going to the gym. Tony was like not into it. Tony was like, wasn't it easier to just throw up? Like, I don't know that much about dads. All I know about dads is Star Wars. That's it. So all I know is that at some point you physically fight them. And then they take off their CPAP. My mom is, she gives me advice about dating because her relationship is perfect. And she'll, I think she confuses men and lesbians when we talk. Like, this is something she told me. She was like, you know, maybe you'll meet a nice man volunteering. And I was like, yeah, you're thinking of gay women. That's who you're sending me to. And she was like, all right, what about like volunteering with pit bulls? Yeah, you mean the gayest women? Yeah, I could for sure meet them. I could for sure meet gayer women than you have met. Which sounds fun. I don't know. My mom does like dogs. She likes, she found him on the freeway because that's where she shops and took him home. And now it's like, who gave who the eating disorder? But her dogs they eat my underwear. That's her favorite food. Which is cool. They find it, they like it, and it's kind of nice because I didn't know I could cook, but now I have a dish for potlucks, and yeah, they do. Her dogs bite, and you can tell they bite because she goes, "They don't bite." Yeah, they're vicious, and she's like, "It doesn't count. Their teeth are rotting, but it counts." You do get a weird mark. It's not all the teeth, but you know, 3 out of 10 is still a bite. So her dogs bite her. It's mostly just if you pet them or give them compliments. She's like, see, aren't they well behaved? They don't like affection. She trained them, and so. You can't pet her dogs, but you can use. She's been using Reiki on them. To heal their trauma, which is, I don't know if you know Reiki, it's when you use Japanese air and you almost pet your dogs. You just almost, you imagine you're petting them. I feel like that's how much my mom just doesn't want to give him a fucking treat. She's like, yeah, I could give him a treat or I could use the power of the universe to cheer them up. And she's like, I'm going to go with the power. So I went from bulimia to dating, which is what a lateral move that is. It is, nothing makes me miss bulimia more than date. I've sucked some dicks where I'm like, I actually think a purge would be better for my self-esteem. But this is what I found out. I went on 15 dates, first dates last year, which felt like a lot to me, but my friend just did it last week. But I did, I had like a spreadsheet, because that's the best part of dating is the data. So I think that's what you do in your 20s. You just collect spreadsheets. And I have good news and I have bad news about dating. What do you want? Do you want good or bad news? Bad news? All right. And bad news is I found out if a guy is super into condoms, very into condoms, very responsible about condoms, he does have a girlfriend. He does. But the good news is at the time I was just like, I think he's really respectful. And he seems to actually like kind of love someone in this circumstance. So, and he didn't get caught. Some more good news for Arthur. And life just kind of ebbs and flows, and then we die. So weight isn't a huge issue for me now. I'm focusing on other things. I got an abortion, which is the bulimia of birth control. It's same procedure, exactly. I had to get an abortion just to keep things tight. I got an abortion and a bikini wax on the same day because I was like, well, I've done something for me. And I better do something for him. So I don't have pubes anymore. No, they're back. They're all back. Everyone. Everything's back. Just the pubes part, which is like, whoo. It's a much better doctor than waxer. But more school. Yeah, I did. I got pregnant in a cemetery. That was, which was foreshadowing. But I don't know. Sometimes life works out. Sometimes, not always, obviously. But sometimes. My English friend believes fetuses have souls. But when she says it, it's like even cuntier. I don't think fetuses have souls personally. And I've like thought about why. And I think it's because I've never heard a fetus play the harmonica before. But if I heard that, like if the ultrasound was like, like, yeah, it's been 2 weeks. Like, yeah, I'd be like, yeah, get these guys a union and stop making them work in the coal mine. But I started going to therapy after I had an abortion, which is cool because some people don't even go to therapy after they have real kids. But I did more for the fake one. And I went to therapy, I found out I had low self-esteem, which is a fancy way to say I fucking suck. Pretty bad hang. This is how bad I felt. I went to college in England because I didn't think I was hot enough for college in America. So I went to where the ugly people live. I was just to study, which is, I didn't even know about, I'm from California, I didn't know about the Pacific Northwest. I feel like I could have just gone to Washington State where we have incest at home. But I went to England, and I like England. I feel like England as a country is just kind of like when your friend does burlesque. So you're like, yeah, this is fun. Like, I'm not impressed. I went to a small town. It's called York. I did anal there. Pretty good. Once. And it is the coolest thing that has happened in York for 10,000 years. But if you go to York, there's two things in York to see. There's the York Minster, that's like this huge cathedral, and then there's a plaque to the one time I did anal, and those are the two tours you can go on. So, pretty good. I toured in Southern California. I'm from Oakland, so I toured in like LA with my brother. He's 17 and I was 12. He went to college first. So I went with him because my mom just didn't want to be alone with him. So we toured in LA together, and we walked by this like frat house, and they all like rated me on a scale of 1 to 10 just to sort of let me know how my life would be. It's just kind of like tarot for boys. And it was all pretty low. It was all like 5s, which at the time I was bummed. But looking back, I don't know. That was not bad. It was kind of high because I was 12, so it should have been 0. But I like it. No, I don't know. I went to England for no reason. Now I have an English friend, which it's a lot like having an English person that just hates you. And I found out I was pregnant. I was going to visit her. I was like going on vacation. And I was like, well, I can't cancel this trip. So I guess I'm going to show this fetus the best 2 weeks of its life. And that was my Make-A-Wish program it wanted anal. That was weird. I found this out. I found out if you're pregnant and you're tell people they don't want you to drink, but if you go to Scotland and you say you're pregnant and you're upset about it, they'll buy you so many shots. He'll be like, you need more. This is how my aunt miscarried. Just so supportive. I don't even think these guys were pro-choice. I think they were just kind of pro-party. And they were like, yeah, if whiskey kills it, it's got to die. So that was... It might have worked. I don't know. I went home. I got the pill, which is kind of like the CVS self-checkout of abortions. You just do it, and then some lady comes over and does it for you. But I was living at home. I took the pill, and my mom was like knocking on my door. She wanted to hang out, and I was like, I'm going number 3. So I do have an IUD. That's my new birth control, okay? My old birth control was being cool. And so I have an IUD now, which is great. It's like anal for the cervix. Super fun. I actually have 2 IUDs. I have one in the front, one in the back, just to be safe. There's been confusion. Wherever it's moist, you gotta cover. And it's confusing. I don't know. They're both wet all the time. So it's not even gross. I just walk fast. And that's natural. I think your butthole should be a little wet right now. I feel like if you have a dry butthole, you need a to-do list. Not to judge. In New York City? Yeah. I've been good. I've been going to bars. I like bars. I like to go there to find out what projects men are working on. They'll let you know. I took Tony to a bar where I'm close to my family because I don't have a lot of money. And so I visit a lot. And we went to this bar, and I was like, can we get a virgin margarita for my mom? And he was like, oh, we don't call them virgins here. That's bad for women. Yeah, and I was like, okay, what do you call them? Like loser cock margaritas? Because we just need your juice. But he was like, no, we call them maiden margaritas, which is so much creepier than virgin. Because he's like, yeah, they're young, but you can fuck them. And that's... So I was like, I'm glad you're fixing that on the job. And then I went to another bar, and I met a man who was like, I'm writing a book. And I was like, I'm good. You don't have to. No, thank you. And he was like, you should ask me about it. And that is the persistence of you should have as a writer. So he did tell me about his book, and he told me he's working on this. This is true. He's working on the biography of Anne Frank. I don't know how that takes you more than 2 hours to write. I feel like you just go through the diary, and then you take all the I's and you turn them into she's. And you've written the biography of Anne Frank. You can do that to a lot of books. You can do She Knew Why the Caged Bird Sings. Any book, just change it. But he's like, no, it's going to be really good. It's going to be the male perspective on Anne Frank. So she's going to have huge tits. And a cool gun. And it's going to be really good. Cool. Yeah. It's going to be better. I don't know if you know who Anne Frank is. She invented the diary. And she was killed for it. So, no. Nazis hate wellness. But she did die in Auschwitz. It's like a fine book. You can tell a kid wrote it. It's it's like, wow, this 14-year-old wrote a lot. It's good, but, it's a very important book historically. I always thought it was a little narcissistic that she wrote her own diary. So he's fixing it. And that guy has a wet butthole, by the way. He's busy. He read Anne Frank, one of the highest grossing books of all time, and was like, but what if I wrote it? I can't wait. But I hope that people don't get mad. I think Jews get very defensive about Anne Frank. Pride Month, there's always this article that goes out that's like, stop calling Anne Frank your bisexual icon, which I don't think anyone has ever done. But just in case, gotta get the article out. Don't call her that. And I know what they're referencing. There's like a passage in her book. It's usually censored, but there's a passage where she was at a sleepover with her friend, and she wanted to see her friend's boobs. She's like, can I please see your boobs? And her friend is like, I don't think so, Anne Frank. And And then Anne Frank is like, fuck. And that's the end of the passage. And icon is a little bit of a stretch for that. If anything, Anne Frank was like a bisexual loser. And it's kind of cool that she was like included in Pride, but I don't know. Bisexual loser, that's also a good name for a non-alcoholic cocktail, I think. Just like a used tea bag with more hot water, and it's $20. I went through a breakup. I did break up with someone. We were gonna get married. He didn't know that though, so it's just like a plan we made that I didn't tell him about. And so we did, and he didn't like me. That's also another part of it. He did MMA, which is kind of like anorexia for men. That's how they do it. And it was hot for a while. He was very into being a guy. He told me he didn't eat fruit because he said fruit is for women. And I was like, I thought everyone just kind of needed vitamins. But he was like, just you, actually, just you. So, but we dated 2 years. Over the course of our relationship, he started to eat kiwis, which is the fruitiest of all the fruits. His favorite. I was like, so just the fruit that looks like balls. Nothing else. And he was like, yeah, I'm a man. So he's eating kiwis. But the reason why is he heard somewhere that kiwis make your cum loads bigger. The quantity, because he was reading a lot. And that's something I'd never paid attention to before until he started apologizing for how small. And I was like, no, that was plenty. I was sated. But he's very worried about his cum. So he's eating a lot of kiwis to be a better boyfriend. And I didn't notice the difference. That also sounds like a lie you would tell a man to like get him to eat kiwis. I was sort of like, did your mom tell you that? Because I worked in a preschool. You can't like force people to make good decisions, but you can lie. Like if a kid wasn't eating their apples, you can't be like, you gotta eat the apples, but you could be like, that's fine. All right, don't eat them. No, whatever. I guess that somebody just doesn't want to come buckets later. And they'll eat the apples. All right, that's where I'm gonna end it. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're great. You're really good.